Hello Benderheads, my name is Nahuel Berich. I'm talking to you from Argentina. This is one of a few videos that cover several tips that may come handy during the production of game assets or textures. These techniques in particular were used at the first game that I have worked for, a little game for mobile devices done inside Unity. You can find a link to download it in the box at the box below, at the description box below. In this particular video we're going to talk about orientations, but to do this a little dynamically, for the ones who knows about what am I talking for, I'm going to leave you this quick tip, and I'm then going to explain in more detail for the ones who doesn't know what is this or how can be used. If you take any object, in this case a cube, you can easily create custom orientations. I'm going to turn into cycles. Let's rotate this cube. Hitting Ctrl Alt Spacebar. Alright, you have there, it generates a custom orientation taking the set of the object at the rotation set of the object, the original rotation axis, and generate a new orientation transform that can be used at any object in the scene. As you can see, if I select anything, at this moment everything has its orientation, his origin point at 0, 0, 0. That's why that is there. But if I create any object, you can see that it keeps the same orientation as the cube. This is also useful at modeling at the moment of modeling, because we can generate Ctrl Alt Spacebar new axis to model in that particular direction, using gizmos, using GY or G axis, double tap, as of course I'm going to explain in detail more detail later. But GYY, and you have it there, your axis, so it can be useful to work in complicated orientations. If you want to delete these new custom orientations, you have to go to the properties shelf at the right side, or hitting the N the N button, the N at the keyboard, and you will open it, and around here you will find transform orientations, and from here you can select any one of the custom orientations and then delete it. Alright, so this one was the tip for the ones who have some experience using this. Ctrl Alt Spacebar, generate custom orientation from the object that it's selected. Okay, now if you come this far and you are happy with the tip, thank you for watching, and see you next time. For the ones who doesn't know about this, or doesn't have a clue about what am I talking, for the ones who doesn't have a clue about what am I talking about, probably that was wrong, but I don't know, doesn't matter. For the ones who has less experience, I'm going to explain what it's this transform orientation about, and what is all this chit chat about axis and set and etc, etc. I'm going to create an object here. Alright, let's isolate it. I said isolate. There you go. Now I have here my weird ball. Okay, and now I can move the ball in X, Y, or Z, depending on which axis I want to move it. Also, I can rotate it in Y, and X, or in Z. But notice that if I rotating this object in Y, and you can see here that the rotations are not 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, you may notice that the axis doesn't change. Why is that? That is because the transform orientations are set to global. This means that uses the global axis of the world to align the orientations. If I turn here the Z, okay, we can see that Z is vertical, Y it's from to back, and X is from the side. Yes, I don't know if you can see that red line there, but that is what it's been taken for the orientation of the rotations and movement translation of the object. If I choose, for example, a local, you may see that this will change a lot, because now are taking into account the local rotation of the object. This become a little more confusing when I turn it into gimbal. Now we can see that rotations axis now overlaps a bit each other, and this it's a problem for animators, and this won't be covered in this tutorial because it's a complex thing to explain. This brings to something called gimbal lock, and I'm not going to talk more about it, but this is something that animators should be aware of. In this case, we're going to stick to local and normal. This object, you won't see any difference from normal to local, but you will see in a moment when I get to edit mode. Also, we have view, that you can see that the Z axis is aligned with the view. I can rotate around it, and this is quite practical while you are working and you have a custom transformation from the axis viewpoint. I most used to do it directly pressing R, because I don't use this transformation gizmo a lot. I usually use SRG to scale, rotate, or move. But returning with the custom transform orientations. As you can see here, the local orientation axis is in this direction. Okay, this is the Y orientation axis. Sorry, the Z. There you go. Orientation axis. If I would have several objects that I would want to rotate and that same orientation axis for some reason, it would be very difficult, because I need to align first the Z axis, and this will probably change my object or the thing that I want to see, or maybe I have to come here on the rotation and align it very well using orthographic view, because if we are in the perspective view, the alignment, the angle will change. Then turn to view, and well, we may rotate the objects in the same axis. If we have this local, we can go to here, hitting N to open the right panel, and under transform orientations we have a plus. If we hit that plus, this will generate a new custom transform orientation. This new custom transform orientation, that you can name like I want this set, okay, can be used to rotate or translate other objects rather than the original one that we have control. So I can click on at all the objects, independent origins, and rotate on shift, and what's happened here? We have set the rotation, the transform orientation to I want the shift, and I click R set to constrain the axis rotation, and it's not rotating in the angle that we want to. This is because rotation has two states. If we hit, let's go to the basics first. Okay, if we hit G, we translate. Okay, we start the modal translation. If we hit S, we start the modal scale to scale objects. If I move my mouse cursor, you will see how the object scales. If I hit R, we start the rotation modal, as you can see here. And if the cursor is closest to the center origin of the object, the rotation will be faster. If I go further away, the rotation is going to be slower. If I hit R, you can see down here at the header that the header changed and set rotation and the angle of rotation in the direction of the viewport view. So now I'm rotating the object aligned to the viewport. If I hit, in this moment, while I am here in rotation and next number of degrees that I am rotating the object, hit R once again, I turn now the rotation mode into trackball. See, rotation has several modes to work. Has a normal rotation in degrees and trackball. This is a hint for you that some things may have several uses. Some buttons at the keyboard may have several uses depending how many times you hit. Okay, let's return to the normal rotation. Now I am rotating aligned to the viewport, as I said before. Okay, aligning with the viewport. But if I hit X, Y, or Z, this will constrain my rotations to those X's. So if I hit X at the keyboard, you may see that red line appearing, and my rotation axis is going to be only on that axis, only X. If I hit Y, the same. If I hit Z, the same. This is the way to constrain rotation axis to rotation of the object to a certain axis. If I hit Shift Z, will lock the Z axis and only rotate it on the other ones. That this is maybe a bug because this shouldn't be working in this way. Now I'm going to Shift to translate, and now if I press Shift Z, lock the Z translation, and I am only moving the object into X and Y. Okay, if that was understood, let's go a step forward. If you don't understand that, please turn the video a few minutes ago, rewind the video, I'm sorry, see it again and try to understand it. If you don't understand that, it's going to be very difficult to continue. Now, if I hit R, I start rotation mode, and hit Z, and hit Z again, nothing happens. Okay? But what am I seeing down below? If you check this area here down below next to the degree number, if I hit Z, it says along global Z, okay, using my global Z axis. If I hit Z again, it will change to local. Alright, this is because the locks has two modes. The first one is always going to be global. Alright? Now I'm going to turn a bit my box, and I'm going to change the transform orientation to local. If I hit now R to rotate and Z to constraint, you will see that the Z axis is vertical, taking the Z axis from the world. But if I hit here rotation degrees and along global Z, I hit Z again in this precise moment, now the axis of constraint is going to change to the local Z of the object. Okay? Remember, any transformation, scale, rotation, or translation, or translate, SRG, it's going to have X, Y, and Z as constraint axis. The first time you hit any of those letters is going to be global axis. The second one is going to be the one you have selected here. Alright, now if this was understood, I'm going to select 3 objects again. I'm going to set the transform orientation to I want this Z, that it was the one that we created before, and going to start rotation mode, rotation operator, pressing R. Alright, now the objects are rotating aligned to the view. I hit Z, now the objects are rotating along the global Z axis, and if I press Z again, now they are all rotating around the Z that we have configured or taken or set up from the local orientation of our ball. Right? So this is the trick around orientations. R to start rotation. If we had R again, we will start trackball. That doesn't have any constraints, so you won't probably want to use it. But if you use any constraint like X, Y, or Z, first time you hit the shortcut, it will be the global axis. Second time it will be the selected axis, the selected orientation axis. This is well handy for objects, but also for modeling. Why? Because if you have a cube, I'm going to take this axis out, you will have the cube orientated at the Y and X axis, and it's going to be relatively easy to move things and put things together. Okay, put that one there, and if I want to move it upwards, I took it in Y constraint and move it. But if you have something like this, that it is in an angle, and you can't change it because the model was done in a different program and then was exported and then brought inside Blender, and from there you have to redo the topology and some lot of things that I don't want to remember. This become very, very handy because I can take this face. Okay, I can hit Control Alt Spacebar, or if I actually can't remember well what is the option, but you can come here and hit that plus button and it will create it for you. It's the same. That is the shortcut for that for that icon. Vamos a ponerle acá uy, complicado esto. Face custom. And then if we want to, for example, generate a new topology to, I don't know, replace this wall or add some detail, we can easily done this. I need to explain a little more thing. When you create this custom orientation, it's going to take the tangent of the face. If we see this, we can see here that faces have normals, these little lines. It's going to be the direction of the normal, like Z, and then in in relation with that, orientate the X and Y axis. Just if you want to say, if you set an orientation axis, you can hit Shift set Z and you take it in outside from its normal. Now we can easily move this in X, scale, Y. You remember that constraining the axis once, it's going to constrain to the global Y axis. I hit Y again, and now I'm constraining to the new custom orientation axis. And from here I can add maybe a detail for this wall, and it's going to be aligned to the the face that I have taken and down there. And things like this, it will become real handy. As you may see, I'm going to be sure to take this axis. I'm going to create a new axis here. XX, XX. Come on, choose. I don't have more space to move. And this is it. This is the deal with axis orientations inside Blender, and a really confusing subject for the one who doesn't use this a lot, and for starters. But it's a really powerful tool to have this the dual control over rotations and locking axis. So I hope that this video tip tutorial extended for new users, I don't know how to recall this, be useful for you, and see you in the next one. Bye.